Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Something Artsy. I'll be your host, Jim Bartles, and we're going to be starting out in a little bit talking to members of the State Street Theater committees. But first of all, I want to make sure I welcome you and also remind you that Something Artsy is produced by State Street Theater. It's a way to collaborate with other arts and culture entities and people in the area, sharing interesting events and information with viewers, and I think you'll enjoy our next segment coming up. Artsy itself is a collaboration with New Ulm Access Cable TV, whose filming of this show makes it possible. State Street Theater is grateful to the City of New Ulm for partnering with us. And also thank you to Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council for their grant to make Something Artsy possible. Sandy Ranke, Wendy Tuttle, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Let's
for having us.
You bet. Let's get rolling. So we've certainly heard of or met you before, but for our viewers, how about telling us a bit about yourself, and in addition to that, what you do as a volunteer for State Street Theater. And Sandy, let's start with you.
All right. So I am Sandy Ranke. I actually am from New Ulm and worked over in Mankato for many, many years in a corporate position, and then took over. I started a small boutique on Main Street, Bailey Creek Boutique. I'm a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and all of those roles usually keep me pretty happy. But I like to serve on the different boards and be involved in the community. For so long when I was in Mankato, I didn't have the ability to really do what made me happy in my hometown. So now I'm back, and I enjoy my time with State Street Theater immensely. I'm working on the executive board there and also on the events and fundraising committee and the marketing, and it's just fun to see all the great things that are happening in our community. And had I not given the last 7 or 8 years to the New Ulm community, I'd have no clue about all the great stuff that was going on. So I'm excited about all of that.
You know, I think that's true. You get exposed to some of this and you realize how many neat things we have going on around our community.
We are extremely blessed in this community.
So a lot there. Wendy, what about you?
Well, I've been doing theater for a long time in New Ulm. I've enjoyed it. I did it prior to starting at the school. I was with a couple of other community theater groups, Pioneer Players, New Act, Can You, and then when I started to do the school plays, I did the plays and musicals at District 88 for well over 20 years, so I was able to enjoy a lot of young people, which is really fun to encourage them, and was lucky with the last production of getting some of those people who I first met when they were 11 years old to come back and be involved with our theater. So that was very fun.
Wendy, okay, I'm gonna throw you one that we haven't talked about. 20 years, give me one of your favorite productions you worked with.
Footloose.
Why?
Why? I think a good part of it was a dream cast and crew. Some of the people involved, like Clay Sletta, has gone on to, he was at the Guthrie, he does a lot of professional theater now. Wonderful people like Levi Wick, and he's involved with many, many things. And also with the background, Jenna Britz, she was just a delight. She was such a delight. But behind the scenes, getting to work with Gary Mackey was always wonderful. And, the dream team with Gary Sassenberg as choreographer and Shannon Stuckey for music, you can't find any bigger talent than that. So having that whole company was so fun. Plus, there was 100 and some kids involved with that musical. So that was, the musicals were like that before.
Footloose, are we all kind of in our minds singing the song right
Yeah,
now?
absolutely.
Footloose, bump, bump,
Yeah,
footloose,
Yeah,
All right.
it was a delight.
Well, both of you very busy. Thanks for what you're doing. Let's find out a little bit more now about what's coming up at State Street Theater. And let's start with the plays. So I understand, Wendy, that in April, the first play of the calendar year is scheduled. Tell us a little bit about the play and what goes into selecting the plays, the auditions, and the like, because I don't think people realize all what happens.
Yeah, because we start off, and as a production team is what it's called, there's a group of us that go through look at many plays that we hear about, plays and musicals that we hear about, and then we choose them. And then after, they're chosen, then we find the crew that's going to do it. And then I have gone through auditions now to pick who the players are going to be. And this is a cast of 16, 17 people, and the play is called Who Done It and To Whom, and it's a very, very fun little comedy, kind of a mystery, and it has, like one of the blurbs says, more twists than a Twizzler licorice in it. So, and for those that do plays, Twizzlers are part of the plays. You always have to have that background stuff of eating Twizzlers. So that play is actually the last play for this season.
Yep.
It's the first play of the year, but it's the last play of our season.
Have you called for auditions yet? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's all in the works.
Yep.
Who Done It?
Who Done It and To Whom.
Yes, that's coming up. All right, so most of us don't think about what goes into the making of something on stage happen. Thank you for that background. Let's turn to performing artists and other things on the agenda in the near future. Sandy, what can we expect?
Well, I tell you, and typically we are dark between maybe the middle of December to the middle of February, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with the fact that we closed down after we had Robert Robinson there on December 9th. He was our final performance in December. And then we have been super, super busy with our capital campaign renovations. And you guys, we were just in there yesterday, and other than being a little dirty right now because they've been doing a lot of work, it is magnificent. It is beautiful. All new seats, new lighting in the floor, new carpet, new paint. We're going to get another beautiful unisex bathroom that's going to be handicap accessible. In February, we're going to be doing some switching up of some other restrooms and make it more accessible. More room for the women and still plenty of room for the guys, and do some switching there. And we've had such great donors that have been able to help us with these projects. But the work is just about done, and we're going to be unveiling it very soon. So our first performance back is a group called Chase and Ovation, but it's a tribute to Prince. That's really all you need to remember, is that it is a tribute to Prince, and that is going to be Saturday, February 10th at 7 p.m. Tickets are selling wonderfully. Come in and take a chance to get a feel of those seats and see the beautiful surroundings, and we will have it cleaned up by then, I guarantee it. And after that, and then actually, if you want to put that on your calendar, you should have a little cocktail that doesn't start out that way but ends up being purple. It's kind of a fun little thing to see. So they're going to be doing that. We're also going to have
it's called Purple Rain.
It's called a Purple Rain.
There we go.
That's right. That's right. And then we have we're in collaboration on this one with the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame, being they have some of the artifacts and things from Prince. People can go, they spend a little bit extra money on their ticket, and they'll get a pre-show experience over at the museum, and then the Hall of Fame Museum, and then they're going to bring some of those artifacts over to the theater, so they can take a look at them there as well. It's just $20 for the concert, and if you want to pay the extra money, I believe it's $40.
So $30 for the concert?
$30 for the concert. Yep. And then $40 if you want the extra tour of the Music Hall of Fame and some reception and things there. Tickets are available at Hy-Vee, the New Ulm Chamber of Commerce, or at the theater. If you want to pick them up at the theater, just go to the back in door 7, and there'll be somebody there to help you from 9 until noon every day. Or you can call the theater at 507-359-9990, or you can email them at info@statestreetnewulm.org. So that's the Prince one that's happening.
And again, Prince, February 10th.
February 10th.
All right,
yes,
but there's more in February.
There's more in February.
Here we go.
So we're super excited about this too. On Saturday, February 24th in the morning, it's a Saturday morning, We are going to be bringing in it's a group of dads, and that's wrong. It's a group of dads that were the stay-at-home dads, and they had youngsters, and then they would get together and try to figure out what to do with these kids all day, and they came up with some of these really fun things, and they decided, this is getting bigger, and we're loving this, and everybody else is loving it. Let's take it to the streets and do a little show. So it's called Jolly Pops, and it's 3 of the dads that will come with their kids, and they will have a very interactive show on a Saturday morning. It's interactive, it's energetic, and but this is some place where we as grandparents can take our grandkids, have a good time with them, and make some memories. And thanks to grants from the Optimist Club and the Early Childhood Education, we're able to actually offer free attendance to those that are 12 and under, if you're accompanied by an adult. So those 13 and over can buy tickets at reduced prices of $5, and they're again available at Hy-Vee, New Ulm Chamber of Commerce, and the theater Monday through Friday from 9 to noon. But just remember that even though the tickets for the kids 12 and under are free, they do have to be accompanied by an adult. And I believe that show starts at 10 a.m. We'll have to double check on that. Did you think 11?
Well,
We had
Yeah,
some differences there,
right.
so we have to double check on that. But you can go on to
that's the
State
one
Street
committee you
Theater.
haven't been on.
That's the one committee I haven't been on.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So so that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So you should mark your calendars, bring your grandkids, your kids, nieces, nephews. It's going to be a fun time.
And again, people, if you want to double check, State Street, newulm.org, go there, you can find out more, or 359-9990 is where to go. Jolly Pops, February 24th, mark it down. All right, Sandy, we're going to stay with you we need to get updated. We've talked about and teased a little bit about capital improvements. Need to find out a little bit more. I was in there a few weeks ago. A lot of chairs were off, chairs were in boxes. I know things are happening. What's
Yeah.
going on with State Street Theater capital improvements?
Yeah, I tell you what, I've been on the board for, it's coming on 3 years, and I used to perform there in high school, and then through college, and we've had a couple performances there with some menagerie reunions and things like that. But I have never been so proud of anything it's fun to be a part of seeing such a great place being restored, and there's so many people who are instrumental on raising, we're nearing $700,000 in capital campaign improvement pledges and gifts and funds. And soon, that'll be depleted as soon as we write these checks out. So we want to make sure people understand that we had great things that have happened at the theater in the last month and a half, but there's even better things to come if we can keep this moving. But some of the improvements, I don't know if you have been there, but if you come on the State Street entrance, you used to be able to come into the parking lot, but it was very difficult for everybody to maneuver getting back out again. So now we've opened that up so that they come in from the corner on the Center Street corner basically, and then they can come out about the mid-block. So that's a nice pass-through. And then we also have ADA. We've changed the entrance there so it's ADA compliant. Inside, as Jim was saying, we have all new seats. They're all padded. They're all going to be numbered, and which is great. So in addition to all of the face lifting that has been done, we are also getting a new computer system that will allow you to go onto the State Street Theater website and order your tickets and pick your seats. So it's going to be one of those things where the earliest that you can do that, the better seats you're going to get. So it's going to be pretty cool. So we're just working on getting things transferred into that system right now, and we're hoping to maybe be able to do it with your play. Maybe that might be the first one. So if everybody's sitting in one seat, we'll know that it went terribly wrong.
Yeah,
But
right.
we'll get it worked out. So we have new ADA compliant things inside. We got rid of all of the asbestos. We have new railings. We have safety railings on that rail in the balcony, which makes me really happy because I'm quite a klutz and I've always pictured myself coming
Going
over
right
there.
over the top.
Yeah, And then we also have lighting in the floor. So it's very, very classy, you guys. It looks wonderful. So everybody's money has been spent in a very, very good way. And we've got wonderful people that work with these bids and keep it manageable so that we are being frugal with what we're spending and we're getting as much as we can out of the money. But we have gotten wonderful, significant, and generous donations from the Michelson Media Family Foundation. Roger and Carol Ryberg and New Ulm Area Foundation have been extremely generous. We will be listing donors online and in programs, and anybody who gave $1,500 or more is going to be memorialized on a plaque in the Glotzbach Gallery. I struggle on that one every time I read it. But just remember, it's not too late to help if anybody's really got a heart for the arts and want to contribute. There's lots of improvements that are being thought about as well.
Two things on the seat, new seating, just the downstairs,
All
upstairs
new
as
seats.
well.
Right.
All new seats.
Everything, so
Yeah.
that's great. And at least some of the seats, aren't they a little bit wider than the old seats?
I think they're all a little bit
I
wider.
think they're a little wider seats.
Yeah, we
more
have,
comfortable.
And set fruit, yeah.
Yeah, I think we
Well,
had over
remember,
700
the seats that were in
seats.
there was for the school,
Yeah.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right.
many, many years
Yeah.
ago.
I
All
think
right.
we've gone from a little over 700 seats to about 600 now. And,
Originally, there was 1,000 seats in there.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we do want to fill those, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
So, and we have a nice handicap platform as well that will seat 6 wheelchairs, excuse me, comfortably, and 6 companion matching chairs to the wonderful seats that we have as well. So we're working hard to try to make everybody comfortable.
Sandy Ranke, Wendy Tuttle, our guests from State Street Theater. Wendy, I want to get back to you. Who done it? We talked about that. You mentioned it, and that's the last one of the season. New season starts July 1st. What's coming up then?
All right, so what we chose for the kickoff of the new season is the musical Joseph, and the rainbow-colored coat. Isn't that what it is?
Technicolor Dreamcoat,
Technicolor
yeah,
Dreamcoat,
yeah.
I forgot what it was.
And that
Anyway,
really cool coat, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that's what we're gonna start off with, which is a great, energetic play. It has options for a lot of talent to be used, and that will be the last weekend in July is when it's performed. And I would assume that with these new seats that you get are able to pick your seats, that is one that you'll want to do, because with musicals and a large cast, you often have sellout crowds, and hopefully that's what we'll have, because it's such a wonderful dynamic play. So they're starting to work on that, the announcements for auditions, et cetera, and people who are interested anytime in helping with backstage or whatever theater. We love inviting others from the community to come in. We want people on stage, but you need a lot of people backstage. So that's what's important, is to have anybody from the community know that they're welcome.
That's the last weekend of July.
Last weekend of
All
July.
right, kind of keep
Yep.
that in mind. Sandy, anything else you want to mention before we wrap up?
Yeah, well, we've got so many things that are going on and so many great performers that we'd like you to just kind of put a little, how do I want to say it, bookmark in your mind for some of these dates. And something that was actually requested to us, and I believe is a repeat performer from years ago, we have Billy Joel and Elton John tribute is coming on Saturday, March 23rd. People are super excited about that one. We have the Chicago tribute by Transit Authority, and I think those of us that have been around here are familiar with Transit Authority. They've played at other festivals as well. That's April 20th. A Garth Brooks tribute is going to be Saturday, May 4th. And
Oh,
we're,
boy.
yep, we've
boy.
gotten so many calls on that one.
Low places, here we go.
Yeah, low places. Jumping ahead, we already have a tribute to Michael Bublé doing a Christmas program for us in December. And then we do rent our stage to others. So in May, there's a community concert that's hosting the Beatles tribute show. And then around the corner, we do have some opportunities on March 6th, we have our, what used to be called the gala, but we want to make sure, we saw such a great response to our ABBA concert. People were dancing in the hallways and in the aisles, and it was just an electric environment, and it was every age. And so in our spring gathering, we want to have that same party feel. So we're doing a little tiki time, Hawaiian theme. We've got Bob and the Beachcombers coming, and this is going to be on Saturday, March 9th. You know, I'm used to March and February being the same dates. You know, they land, but not with a leap year. You gotta remember that that's a day different then. So we will have food, we'll have beverages, there's gonna be dancing. We've got Joe Meidel that's doing some auctioneering, and, you know, lots of fun with that. I think Brian Filzen is coming. I think he's gonna be our host that evening.
Oh, boy.
Our
Look out.
MC. So we know it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we'd love to have you come. So again, seating is limited, so call 359-9990 or contact State Street Theater at info@statestreetnewulm.org, or you can go to our website. And finally, I do want to thank Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council, whose grant funded by Minnesota taxpayers through the Legacy Fund is helping cover some of the costs of bringing the Prince Tribute Show to our area. And also, of course, a big thank you to New Ulm Cable Access for allowing us once a month to produce this show to let people know what's going on in the community.
Wendy and Sandy, thank you very much.
Thank
A good
you.
update.
Yeah.
Always good, and people don't realize sometimes what a neat thing State Street Theater is,
Oh, it sure
and
is.
the asset to the community, and all of you, your help was great. My name's Jim Bartles. That's going to wrap it up on this edition of Something Artsy. It's Something Artsy, our program coming your way on New Ulm Cable Access TV, and our thanks to Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council for their grant to make Something Artsy possible. This segment, we're going to be talking with Mark Schulke, Business Services Manager at New Ulm Chamber of Commerce. Always good to get updated on things going on with the Chamber. Anyway, Mark, good to have you on the program.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Let's get back to a few things. First one I want to cover, not too long ago, again, this is airing in February, but Bagging in the Streets was here, and first time, cold day, but a lot of teams.
It was cold. We had, I think it was 55 teams out there. It was amazing how they just, I think it was 6 degrees out? And people were just coming down. They had fire pits out in the middle of the street.
Yep.
We had warming tents and hot chocolate, and so I think it went over pretty good.
First time venture, good to see, and kind of a spin-off from the volleyball action that happened downtown a little while
Right,
back also. All right, let's get to Business of the Year finalists, nominees that are being looked at, and I know the Businesses of the Year, large business, small business, they're going to be named shortly. A couple years ago, KNUJ was honored with the Small Business of the Year. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So where are we at on the Business of the Year nominees?
Sure. So we have 2 large business nominees right now. The one is Gog Sheet Metal, and the other one is J.R. Schugel. We also have 3 small businesses of the year nominees, and those are Minnesota Valley Funeral Homes, Becky Bakes, and Goots Assessing. So at the annual meeting, then all the votes will be tallied from all the businesses of the chamber, and then we'll pick a winner. So,
Annual meeting. A little
Yes.
bit about that. When is it? And some information.
sure, annual meeting coming up February 8th, so I guess a couple weeks already. Jeez, time flies.
And of course, we're recording this in late January.
For
so,
sure.
Yep.
Right. That's going to be held at the Royal Oak Center. It starts at 5:30 for a social, and then I'll have a nice meal, of course, starting at 6 p.m. At the annual meeting, they give out a lot of information about the committees, what the chamber initiatives are, things like that, and of course, that's where we'll be talking about the Business of the Year nominations, and also the Tourism Person of the Year, so that'll be coming up too. So,
All right. And that, again, nominations have been coming in on that, and so recognition will be at that event. Again, that's on February 8th. Is this open to the public? Do you have to be a chamber member?
It's a chamber member
Okay.
event, so yes.
All right. So, and tickets are available at the chamber office?
Tickets are available on sale right now at the Chamber office at $40 a ticket.
Okay. There's a mystery dinner coming up that I heard about. What can you tell us about this mystery dinner?
Sure. Well, it happens the February 15th, so the day after Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's happening at the Franklin downtown. And basically, you get your tickets, great seating. I don't know if you've been to the Franklin downtown, but it's an awesome place. Anyhow, it's written by a murder mystery dinner fundraiser. Is written by Paul Washer, and basically, a murder's been taking place, and a romance downtown threatens the stability of New Ulm. And your job at the table, of course, is to find out who did it. So there'll be clues and all kinds of activities for you to figure that out. And yeah, the winning table kind of wins a prize, and they have a meal there as well, and drinks and cocktails and things like that. So the doors open at 5:30 on that event.
All right, that's on the 15th. Again, Paul Waschauer has done many of these in the past. A lot of people, I think, are familiar with him. He worked out in New Ulm for a few years as well. And it's a fundraiser for New Ulm Business and Retail Association.
It
correct?
is.
All right.
It is.
So we mentioned that. There's another event coming up later in February that I had noted. It's called Stand Tall, Heels and All, Women's Networking Event.
Yes, these kinds of events have been very popular. They're big sellers. In fact, I think it could be one of the second largest event the Chamber holds. But anyhow, Sarah Krishner, she's the founder of Standing Tall. She's basically a speaker and narrative coach. She will be the guest speaker, of course, at the 10th annual Women's Networking event here. Basically, she's there to help women get their voice across and help navigate the business community, show some confidence, build relationships, things like that. So I've heard she's a phenomenal speaker. She's been doing this quite a while. There again, you can get your tickets. I think these are online, or you can get them at the Chamber as well. Okay. We've got some great sponsorships that have been coming in, and it's going to be a great event. The tickets are selling fast on this one.
It's a ladies' event.
Yes, it is.
And several years now, the Chamber has sponsored this, and yes, the crowds have been good, very well attended, and I think it's a great night for the ladies to get out as a ladies' event with talking about good things and learning and education and all that kind of stuff, plus some super networking and food and beverage. There we are. So that's on February 29th, our Leap Day that comes every 4 years.
Yes.
Mark Schulke is our guest, Business Services Manager, New Ulm Chamber of Commerce. Mark, anything else you want to mention that's on your list?
Well, I was just going to add that in March, I know it's March, but we got the Home and Health show, recreation show. We added recreation this year. So I want to make sure everybody gets the word out to get your booth registrations in. That's happening March 22nd and 23rd. So please sign up for a booth if you haven't. Otherwise, for the public, it's going to be a great event. We're hoping to have at least probably 70, 80 vendors there, which I think we had 71 last year. So we're hoping to add to that.
And again, that will be held at
the Civic Center.
Civic Center.
Yeah.
So it's there, March 22nd, 23rd, Home Health and Recreation show. So a big month. March has got a lot of that, but there's the Ag Show that's coming up. I think Joe's having a camper show again. But this is always a big one. And I remember when it started. Holy smokes. Thinking back to what year it was. Maybe it's around 1980, something like that. I know I helped put up curtains at the very first event that they had. But March 22nd, 23rd, Home Health and Recreation Show put on by the New Ulm Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. Mark, anything else?
That should do it.
Always good to get the Chamber updates. Mark Schulke, Business Services Manager, New Ulm Chamber of Commerce. Any questions? You can give them a call or a email address.
chamber@newulm.com, or mine is mark@newulm.com.
And you'll get them. There you are. That's going to do it for right now. That's another edition of Something Artsy, and thanks for joining us. It's another edition of Something Artsy. We welcome you to our segment that we have today. It's produced by State Street Theater, and it's done in collaboration with New Ulm Access Cable Television, NewCat as we know them. Our thanks to them, thanks to the city for allowing us to do this, and also thanks to the Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council for their grant to making Something Artsy possible. We try to get folks in from the college every so often because the college is a big part of New Ulm. We're very fortunate to have them up on the hill. And they've got something else coming up in their arts department. We want to talk about the importance of being earnest. That's a play that's coming up February 23rd, 24th, 25th. We're going to talk to Jason, Joe, and Gretchen. Let's first meet them a little bit. Jason, a little bit about you and your background. I know you're the director, but who are you and where are you from?
Like you mentioned, I'm Jason Horn. I'm from San Diego, California, and I'm a sophomore up at Martin Luther College this year.
And you're going to be a teacher, preacher, where are you
I'm,
heading?
I'm studying to be a pastor. So.
All right, great. Good to have you here. San Diego, coming to New Ulm.
Right.
That's a little different.
Yes. Over winter break, it was very nice to enjoy 65-degree weather every day.
San Diego has great year-round
Yes.
temperatures and a nice place to be, that's for sure. All right, Joe, a little bit of Joe Schultz, a little bit about you and where you're at in school.
Yep, I'm Joe Schultz. I'm from Rhinelander, Wisconsin. It was not 65 degree weather during winter break. I am a sophomore at MLC as well, but I'm studying education. I'll be an elementary teacher.
All right, good to have you here. Good to have you in New Ulm. And Gretchen, a little bit about your Gretchen.
Yes.
And how do you pronounce your last name?
Looked.
Looked.
Yep,
Okay.
just like that.
That's a German name.
Very German.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. I'm from Antic, Wisconsin, and I'm also a sophomore at MLC, and I'm a double education major with elementary education and secondary English.
All right, very good. Great to have you here. And again, we're talking about the importance of being earnest. February 23rd, 24th, 25th at the MLC Auditorium. If you haven't been there, it's a great facility. Jason, you're the director. I need to hear a little bit about what this play is, what it's about. Give us some background here so people can start to know why they should come to this very fun play.
Yes. Okay. The Importance of Being Earnest was written by Oscar Wilde in 1895. So it's a little bit of an older show, but it is a comedy, and the comedy is still funny to this day. It's very funny. We have a lot of fun rehearsing it in practice, and it's just a wonderful time. So definitely a great time for everyone to enjoy, whether you're old or young. There will be ways to enjoy this show. It is very entertaining. But the show itself is about two friends who create like fictitious personas to kind of break away from their mundane lives and have fun. But they find out about each other's personas and then try to mess each other up. They're in love with each other's cousins, and they try to use each other's personas to get to each other's cousins, and there's a lot of mix-ups and a lot of questions about identity and who really is Ernest, who really is who, and in the last act, it all comes together, and in a somewhat twist. If you know the show, it's not a twist, but there's a twist at the end, and it makes the whole show resolve in a very
And
nice
we don't
way.
want to talk too much about that. People have to come and see the play. Joe, when did all the work start on putting this together? I mean, was this in September when school started? A little bit of background.
All right, so this is the third production that MLC has put on this year. We started with The Importance of Being Earnest in early December. That's when we had applications for the staff, and then we had auditions for that also. And then over our winter break, we worked a lot together, organizing rehearsals, organizing costumes, props, set, and all that type of stuff.
how many people are involved in this production, whether it's on stage, whether it's behind the scenes, but how many are involved?
Our cast is 9 people, 5 males and 4 females. Our crews, we have 6 crews. Set, props, costumes, hair and makeup, painting, and house crew. So those are all headed by a student, so there's 6 more people, and each of those crews have more people who are working under them within the crew, and those are still filling up. There are still people signing up for those, so I'd say...
There's about 5 to 10 in each crew so far.
Yeah.
So that's a total of like 60, 70 people all
Yes.
working on this show.
How many, I'm probably using the wrong word here, how many segments to the play?
There are 3 acts.
That's the word, act.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes, 3 acts. The traditional show is 2 acts. This one is 3 with 2 longer acts, and then the third one is a lot shorter, where everything kind of comes together.
All right, folks are starting to watch this. They're saying, this sounds pretty good. I think I should be going to this. What do I need to know about tickets and how to get tickets? And guess what? Gretchen is here to fill us
Yes,
in.
that's my whole job. So tickets are only going to be sold for this show at the door. And for adults, it is $8. And then for students and seniors, it is $6 per ticket. And for students, that's from kindergarten all the way up through college. You can get a $6 ticket.
All right, so otherwise, so $6 for students, $8 for adults.
Yes.
And seniors are $6 also?
Yep.
Right?
Yes. And then our shows, as you said before, are February 23rd and 24th. And those shows are both at 7:30. And then our show on that Sunday, the 25th, is at 2 o'clock.
When do doors open?
A half hour before the show. So
So-
at the 7:30 shows, it would be 7, and then the 2 o'clock show, it's 1:30.
So have you been able to watch the practicing that's going on, Gretchen?
Yes. I
What do
have.
you think of what you're seeing?
I really, really love it. It's a lot of fun, and even though I've been to like 4 or 5 practices, I still laugh at every single joke. So,
That sounds good. So again, the dates, 23rd, 24th, 25th of February. The first 2 days, 7:30 in the evening. That's what, a Sunday matinee, is that right?
yes.
2
Sunday
o'clock.
matinee.
Doors open 30 minutes ahead of time. You don't want to miss it. It's a comedic play about these 2 guys, and they take on different personality roles because they're a little bored in their lives, apparently. So it all sounds pretty fun. Should be good. Anything else you want to mention that we haven't covered from any of the 3 of you?
If anyone else needs any more information about ticket prices or the show in general, they can go to our website, which is mlc-edu/forum, or you can call our number, which is 507-233-9114.
Phone number 233-9114. And once again, that email address.
So the website
Website?
is mlc-wels.edu/forum.
Very good, very good. Our thanks to Jason Horn, director of the play. Joe Schultz, another very German name, you know.
Yep.
Assistant director, and Gretchen Lucht, who is the producer of the play. Our thanks to them for coming in. It ought to be a fun one. Thanks for doing these. These are, I mean, again, it's another great asset for the community. Folks like to come up to these things, so thanks so much.
Of course.
That's going to wrap it up. MLC College, the importance of being earnest, February 23rd through 25th, and that's this edition of Something Artsy. Well, sit right back and enjoy. We've got another segment of Something Artsy coming your way here from New Cat, or New Ulm Access Cable TV folks, who we appreciate their cooperation, and the city of New Ulm for allowing us to do this. Also, Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council, who makes money happen that helps this all take place. And we're going to mention that Something Artsy is produced by State Street Theater. This segment, we're going to be talking to Tamara Firth from the Grand Center for Arts and Culture, and right downtown New Ulm. If you're not familiar with it, if you know where the Kaiserhof and the K-Bar is, go across the street. For many years, KNUJ was on the 2nd floor, so we were there for a long time as well. Tamara, you're the marketing and programming manager. We want to mention real quick, too, a new director is coming in for the Grand Center for Arts and Culture.
Yes, we're thrilled to have John Kellen. He's our new director. He comes to us from the Wilmer area and a lot of background experience in nonprofits. He himself is an artist, a photographer, and he is starting, he started in January, and we hope to introduce him to the community next time on Something Artsy.
All right, sounds good. Real quick before we talk about music that's going to be there, gallery exhibit coming up that's there through February 16th. Michael Wickman.
Yes, Michael Wickman, a very talented artist and art teacher out at MVL. He's got a really interesting exhibit on display, creations with cardboard. And after looking at his work, you'll see cardboard in a whole nother way. So we've got his work in our gallery and also out in the hallways of second floor. So come and enjoy that through February 16th. And then we will be welcoming a new exhibit, and it's Area Youth Art Exhibit. So every year the Grand likes to highlight youth art, and this year we're focused on the younger artists, so students that are pre-K through 6th grade, and they can submit artwork to the Grand starting February 1st through the 12th. We're also going to be picking up artwork from the schools, so if kids are creating things in the school, they can always leave them there. I'll pick them up. But at any rate, we're really excited to, again, showcase our young artists. And that exhibit will open February 23rd and run through mid-March.
What days and hours if folks want to come in and see the gallery?
Yes, so our gallery is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So basically Tuesday through Saturday.
Yes.
And keep those 10 to 4, Tuesday through Friday, and then Saturday again was what?
11 to 4.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, keep those in mind.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about music, because always some fun stuff going on, and let's go through the list of who's going to be performing and sharing their talents.
Yes, we are. We're excited to have a fun mix of music this month. Starting off February 2nd, we have a group called the Eclectics, and they're a bluegrass band. Just, again, a really fun, dynamic group. Then on the 8th, February 8th, which is a Thursday night, we have our open mic night, and that's run by Molly and Sunny Boy, and we've had a really wonderful turnout for that. So again, a lot of talented people out there that you wouldn't realize, but it's an opportunity for them to showcase their talent, and we welcome musicians, singers, comedians, poetry reading, anything.
If
It's an open mic.
they come and set up, are there microphones used? What's the atmosphere like?
Yes, so the way Molly and Sunny Boy organize it is that you show up and you can kind of sign up on the whiteboard, and they go in the order in which people arrive, and we have a sound system and microphones available, so you can certainly bring your own, but we do provide that. Obviously, as a musician, you need to bring your own instruments, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's on February 8th.
And that's the 8th. And then, so the rest of our Friday night music, the 9th, we have Ben Scruggs. He's a local musician from Mankato area, folk singer. On the 16th, we've got the Amy Manette Band, which is a jazz group. And then on the 23rd, we finish off the month with Jesse Anderson Band. They're out of the Twin Cities, and they play a real fun mix of pop and folk and rock music.
Yeah, I haven't sat in for just a little bit there, but I remember it's fun. You have a small bar that's open there as well with some beverages, so that's available, and it's very intimate.
It is. A lot of musicians love to play our venue because they do. They feel like the people who show up really are music appreciators, and so it's a really engaged crowd. And like you say, they perform from 7 to 9:30, and we do have a bar available and a light menu like charcuterie boards, snack mix, that type of thing.
So again, it's Friday nights.
Friday nights, and it's
Friday.
free and open to the public. So.
Yeah, and I know people who will come there and then they maybe go somewhere else later, or they go and eat somewhere first and then come, or eat there, as you mentioned, with the menu that you've got as well. So it can be part of your evening, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
come and go, of course, as well.
Yes.
So,
Yes, it is.
all right. Many other things we need to talk about. I know that there's a Kids Create class on February 10th. Little information.
Yes, so we've kind of switched it up a little bit. We used to have our children's paint class. But our teaching artist, Rhonda Johnson, likes to do other activities and creative things with the students. So we've decided to go with kind of a new theme for that, and it's Kids Create class. And this will be February 10th, as you mentioned, from 10 to noon. And it's geared toward kids, children who are kindergarten and up. So it can be really elementary, middle school age group. So you can register for that online on our website. We also have a number of classes happening in our Cellar Press. So Ann Makepeace, who is the manager of Cellar Press, has hired some more staff down there. We're wanting to really develop the classes down there. We've got a bookbinding equipment now too. So in February, our classes will kind of focus on that. The first one is February 1st, which is a pamphlets class where you're making just simple folded pamphlets and using the bookbinding material to bind that. And then later in the month, the 17th and 18th, we have actually where you will make a journal, a hardback book, so a journal to write in. So those classes are coming up. And we also have our barn quilt class, which is led by Kay Martin. So that'll be the early in the month.
So again,
too. Third and the fourth.
we see what looks like quilt patterns on,
Yeah.
large patterns on the side of a barn or a garage.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, it's like 2 feet by 2 feet, and they're beautiful. She has a lot of patterns you can choose from, or you can come with your own pattern too.
And some
So-
I've seen are bigger than 2 by 2.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're more like 6 by 6 or 8 by 8.
Yes.
They stand out, but it's kind of a tribute to the popularity of quilting.
Well, right, and that's the thing where in this part of the state and even this community, there are a lot of quilt shops, there are a lot of quilters, so it's just another take on the art of quilting.
Tamara Firth is our guest. She is with the Grand for Arts and Culture, right downtown New Ulm on Minnesota Street. You've got many other things. I'm going to let you roll on those because
Yeah.
we need to cover those. We have a really busy schedule.
We do. We have a lot of fun programming going on. One of the other programs that we have is our art therapy class, which is geared toward middle school students, and that meets Wednesdays, February 14th and the 28th from 5:30 to 7:30. And that's something too that has really taken off. There are a lot of kids interested in that. And really the goal of that class or that session is for kids to create and connect with peers. And so it is a free class. It's been funded by grants. And kids just need to have their parents call us to sign up and register because we can only take about 20 kids.
What ages?
So it's that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
middle school. And then just a couple other things that we're doing. We've got our Indigenous Flute and Drum Circle, which is led by Deb Eglund, and she gathers the group once a month on Tuesday. This month it'll be on the 20th of February from 3 to 4. And she has a lot of the drums and the flutes available. It's just an opportunity to come and learn about and appreciate these beautiful instruments. And it's very, very calming, soothing. So we invite people to attend that. And then last but not least, or no, I guess not last quite yet, we've got our Art House film series, where we partner with New Ulm Film Society. And the film this month is on February 15th from 7 to 9, and that is Salt of the Earth. So it's a film from the 1954, and it's set in New Mexico, and it kind of deals with workers striking against the zinc company. So it's a very powerful film, and we'll be showcasing that, like I say, on the 15th. And then, last but not least, we still continue our art outreach program to Ridgeway on German and Ridgeway on 23rd.
And what's that entail?
So we have teaching artists Kay Martin and John Ingebrigtsen, both retired art teachers, that bring art to the residents at both Ridgeway on German and Ridgeway on 23rd. So to kind of enrich their life with those artistic opportunities.
So they bring art too.
Yes.
Are they making things, painting
They are.
things?
They
right?
create. They are doing everything from watercolor paints to clay to drawing.
Instructors
So-
there and helping them get things done.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, that's fantastic stuff. My mom has passed away, but where she was at in a nursing home environment, they had some of that too. I couldn't believe some of the things that they were able to do.
Yeah, and
It-
there are a
it's-
lot of talented people,
Yeah.
and they like I say, their goal is really to create enrichment throughout life. So to be able to do that, and we thank Minnesota Valley Funeral Home for funding that program.
Excellent. Good to mention that.
Yes.
Anything else?
So I think that
Take a
says
breath
it.
here now. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of good things. The Grand for Arts and Culture, downtown New Ulm, 210, is it?
210 North Minnesota.
Yep, and again, don't forget their Friday night music, 7 to 9:30. You got open mic coming up on February 8th. That's a once a month thing?
Yes, that's once a month.
Okay, so many good things that she's covered and talked about. Tamara Firth, we thank you for coming in.
Yes, thank you. And you can always check our website too. It's
Which
got all the
is?
details.
Which is?
thegrandnewulm.org.
thegrandnewulm.org.
Yes.
Check it out. We get to hear a lot of updates from them, and that is fantastic. Along with Tamara Firth, I'm Jim Bartles, and that's another segment of Something Artsy. Welcome to another segment of Something Artsy. I'm Jim Bartles. I'll be your host for this segment, and we're going to be talking with, well, I'll tell you what, Leroy Harris gives us a lot of fun stuff to think about, to know what's going on with the library. He's involved in the programming and technology services at New Ulm Public Library, and we'll talk to him in just a little bit. Something Artsy is produced by State Street Theater. It's a way to collaborate with others in arts and culture entities and people in the area, sharing interesting events and information with viewers. And Artsy itself is a collaboration with the New Ulm Access Cable TV folks, whose filming of this show makes it possible. State Street Theater is grateful to the City of New Ulm also for partnering with us. And a thank you to the Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council for their grant to make Something Artsy possible. All right. Leroy, good to talk to you again. Good to be having you back.
Likewise, Chip.
All right. Let's talk about things. I want to get into, talk about kids' activities first.
Sure.
Get into that. We'll hit some of the adult things. But get us going. I know you've got, you're going to celebrate Fasching a little bit at the library.
Yeah, it's a week early before Fasching, but the Narren come to the library. And so that'll be on Saturday, February 3rd. The Narren will be here at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's the chance for kids to get to meet the Narren with their masks off and learn about the masks so that when they see them, in parades and at events like Fasching, maybe they're not scared or unsure of what it is. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little story time. There will be some snacks and a couple activities too.
History of Narren goes back into Germany and so forth, and the masks all have a meaning, and find out about those things. That is great. Sensory play times.
Yep. So that was started a couple months ago. There's 2 each month. There's one in the morning and another one in the evening on 2 different days. You do need to register for those so that Miss Catherine has an idea of how much supplies she needs for each event. But yeah, kids can come. There's like a really short story, but mostly it's their chance to play with sensory toys and do some activities along those lines. So the morning sensory playtime is on Thursday, February 22nd at 10, and then the evening one is 2 days prior on February 20th on Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock.
What ages are you generally looking at there?
We're not really setting a limit on that because sensory issues for kids can manifest through a whole bunch of ages, but I would say on average we're getting kids from toddler all the way up to 8 or 9. But our youth services librarian said that she's fine with even a little older than that. So
Some of the days that school is not held in New Ulm because of one thing or another, the library kind of chips in and provides something. And I know you've got a no school movie day, February 16th.
Yeah, our no school afternoon movie on the 16th. So that's at 2 o'clock up in the children's room. We provide the popcorn. You're welcome to bring your own water bottle and just to enjoy a fun kids movie.
What time again?
At 2 o'clock on Friday, February 16th.
Can you tell us what the movie is yet?
I cannot.
Okay, but it'll be here. That's a neat thing to do. And again, the kids are there. In some cases, do the parents stick around for that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're there too. All right, that's good. So we've got that. I want to talk a little bit about some of the adult items.
Sure.
Art exhibit.
Yes, so we just earlier this month started an art exhibit with local artist Michael Weekman. He's also has as part of the same collection of art over at the Grand downtown.
Grand,
And his exhibit here is called Handle Without Care. They're all done on the medium of cardboard, and they're really interesting. There are pieces that were inspired by his kids, and they had a hand in the subject and in what they look like. But yeah, just a wide variety of really interesting images, and the fact that they're on cardboard provides differences with texture and other things like that. And that's going to be here through Saturday, February 17th.
The adult winter reading program continues.
Oh, yes. So we started that at the beginning of January, and it's going to go through the end of February. So February 29th is the last day. And this year, we're doing a bit of an experiment because I have not seen any other library across the country try this. Lots of libraries have winter reading programs, and they try to make it fun with different ways of keeping track of your reading and whatnot. But I have not seen any other libraries try what we're doing this year, and that is, as you read books, it gives you color palettes to color winter landscape scenes. People are enjoying it so far. For example, if you read a mystery that was set in a contemporary setting, like a James Patterson thriller or something like that, you could count it as a mystery book, or you could count it as a contemporary book, and use those color palettes to color the picture. You have to use at least 3 colors to finish a picture. But when you do, the first picture that you complete, you get a free book from our prize shelf, usually a lot of brand new bestsellers, things that have been donated to the library that we already have a copy of in our collection, but if you want a copy for yourself. And then also you get your name in for drawing for Chamber Bucks prizes. This year we've expanded a little bit. We've got 5 prizes instead of 3. And you can complete up to 5 pictures to get 5 entries into the drawing there.
All right, I need a little more information about the adult winter reading program. Is it all people are getting books on their own?
Yep.
And are they sharing information about what they've read? How does this work?
Okay, so when you sign up for the program, we give you a tracking sheet, and it has the rules and guidelines on there. You have to be at least 16 to participate. And then it also has the directions for how to do the picture coloring in there. But you can read whatever you want. And audiobooks count too. So some people prefer to read that way. If you prefer reading an ebook, you can do that. But on each of the pictures, to match the colors that you put on your picture, there's space for you to write the titles of the books. But your name doesn't have to be on the picture at all. It just goes on your tracking sheet.
What if I just want to read 2 books a month?
Well, you can participate and you can read.
and if I want to read 2 books a week, everything works.
Absolutely, yep.
All right, very good. Adult reading program for the adults, it's through February 29th.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about club updates.
Absolutely. So for the teens, Anime Club is pretty early in February this month. So on Tuesday, February 6th, 4 o'clock after school, come to the library, eat some Japanese snacks, watch some anime, talk about anime and manga. So it's a fun time.
Yeah.
For adults, we have our 3 book clubs. We've got our Litwitz book club. They're meeting on February 5th at 6:30 in our Fred Johnson room, and they're going to be discussing the classic novel by Joseph Keller, Catch-22. It's become a phrase in our lexicon, and so they're going to talk about that. Our History Book Club meets on Tuesday the 20th in February, and they meet at noon. And for the winter, they meet over at the City Center Apartments down on South Minnesota, 115 South Minnesota.
They have a nice lobby there. So,
Yep. Yeah, they've got a nice little meeting room that they graciously allowed us to use. And then our Mystery Book Club is meeting on Monday, February 26th at 6:30 in the evening. So those are our book clubs. Then we also have our poetry group, of course, which meets every month. It's not for writing poetry or critiquing poetry. Just bring a few poems that you'd like to share. Could be on any subject or, from any author or time period, including your own. We just take turns sharing poems and talking about it, and it's pretty chill, I think. So, but then we also have our genealogy club, and they're going to be meeting on Thursday, February 15th this month, and in February. And we're going to be talking about Roots Tech, which is the largest international family history conference in the world. And since 2020, they've made a lot of things available for the conference online, so you don't have to travel to the location and buy a ticket and things like that. There'll be a lot of interesting things there.
And there are a lot of people who are into
Oh
genealogy.
yes, yeah, we have a great club.
Yeah.
So
Very good. Anything else we have not touched on that you need to make sure we cover?
I suppose I should put in a plug for the New Ulm Film Society
Yes.
for their monthly movies. So that's going to be on Tuesday, February 13th at 6:30. They're continuing their series on courtroom dramas, and in February they're going to be showing The Accused from the 1980s. And I think our chess club meets every week. You can find all the information about the library's events on our events calendar on our website at newulmlibrary.org. And you can also stop into the library and you can pick up a paper copy, just like this.
newulmlibrary.org.
newulmlibrary.org.
newulmlibrary.org. Okay, so that's where to go if you want to get caught up on some of that, or just stop in. Stop by and stop in. Hey, I was at a presentation at Brown County Historical Society, and it was about saving things. Well, I asked about what about saving pictures, and they said, well, at the library you've got a flat scanner that is available to the public.
Yes.
If you want to bring in like a scrapbook or photo albums that you want to get digitized so they're saved that way also. That's another service that the library provides.
Yes, that's part of our memory lab. So our flat scanner has a very large bed, and the lid also has adjust hinges. So if you've got like a scrapbook,
Yeah.
something thicker, you can set it in there. It also has a transparency unit, so it can scan slides and negatives as well.
Wow.
So we have people that come in and bring those, and you can get them into a digital format, save them on a flash drive. So yeah.
I have to come in.
All right,
I
please
have
do.
stacks of photo albums and scrapbooks. Some are mine, some for my parents,
Yep.
and for my children, and I think I need to get those digitized.
Yeah, and if the scanner software is really nice in that if you can do batches of photos,
Yeah.
And it will scan once and it will individually identify each image and create a separate file for it.
Leroy Harris, we're going a little overtime, but I had to bring that up because I think there's other people who that would be of interest to.
Yeah.
And another service that our library provides. Leroy Harris, Programming and Technology Service Librarian. Good to have you here again.
Thanks, Jim.
That's going to wrap it up on this segment as we talk about New Ulm Public Library. Along with Leroy, this is Jim, and that's another segment of Something Artsy. Hi again, everyone. Jim Bartles here as your host for this segment, an edition of Something Artsy. And we welcome you to our broadcast that we have today, Something Artsy, produced by State Street Theater, a way to collaborate with other arts and culture entities and people in the area, sharing interesting events and information. We're going to be sharing information about Brown County Historical Society with Amy Johnson in just a little bit. Again, NewCat here in New Ulm, the New Ulm Access Cable Television folks. They're doing the filming. It makes it possible. State Street Theater is grateful to the City of New Ulm for partnering with us. And our thanks again to Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council for their grant to make Something Artsy possible. Amy Johnson, good to have you back again.
Hello, how are you today?
We're doing good, doing good. Brown County Historical Society. Let's see, how long have you been the director now?
So a year.
1 year,
I
okay.
made it through a year.
And you're born and raised in New Ulm.
I am. I graduated from New Ulm High School. After that, I was in Minneapolis for 10 years, and then after that, I was in San Francisco for 10 years, and then I came back here.
Back here.
So I'm
Great.
here.
All right, your roots are here. That's good.
Yep.
All right, let's get right at it. Current exhibits that you have at the Brown County Historical Society.
Right. So the first floor is a permanent exhibit. That's becoming Brown County. It kind of starts with the formation of the land and brings you around to about 1900. And then the third floor is the U.S.-Dakota War of 1862, and that's also a permanent exhibit. So that's there. And then the second floor is kind of the rotating floor. The exhibits change a little bit. Right now we have the Gut Heil, the New Ulm is a Turner town is there, and I think that will be there through summer. And then in the other gallery we have What's New, and that's kind of some items that have been donated to the museum more recently before they go into collections and care. So That's that gallery. The holiday exhibit is currently being changed out, and what's going to replace that is flour milling in Brown County.
Ah,
Yes, and so that will be our spring exhibit.
so that's coming up spring, we're talking April sometime.
Yes, hopefully a little bit sooner than that, but April
Yeah.
for sure.
Flour milling, which, again, if you go back and you dig out history of New Ulm, flour milling, you know, we were all along the river and everything. It's a big deal. Yeah, it's a good exhibit to have as well. Want to talk a little bit about a note I had here is we said we should find out a little bit more about what you can do in the research library.
Right, the research library. Well, we've actually been using the research library quite a bit ourselves lately to get ready for our March program. But some of the things that the research library has is going to be family files, business files, microfilm of a lot of the county papers going back even to the New Ulm Post.
Yep.
There's going to be assistants. We have a research librarian on staff who can be there to help you and answer any questions that you may have and help you explore a little bit further. We have depredation claims from the U.S.-Dakota War. There's birth records, there's death records, marriage records, early plat books. I could go on, but
But you have someone there to help. If someone say, I'd like to find out information about KNUJ radio, okay,
Yes.
as I work there.
Yep.
There'd be a way to pull that together and someone to help us do that.
yes. So we have a research librarian there when the museum is open. But I would recommend probably calling in
Yeah.
and making an appointment with Darla, just so that she can be ready for you and pull the files that she thinks might be applicable or pertinent to your questions and your research.
Excellent. I want to find out a little bit about the book sale collection and the book sale. That's looking ahead into March and April, but I think some people want to plan on that, put it on their
Yes.
calendar.
Save your books, give us some time. The book sale is happening. Collection begins on March 25th, so it's kind of, if you've been part of that before, we put bins in the back parking lot behind the museum and between the annex and the museum, and people just can put their books in the bins at their convenience, and then we thank you very much for your contribution. And then the book sale itself is going to be, for members, it starts on Thursday, April 18th, and then for the public, Friday the 19th and the 20th. So come join us for that. It's one of our fundraisers, so it is a really important to Brown County Historical Society operations. So donate to books and come buy some books, and we thank you.
You know, you just talked about members. What about membership? If someone wants to be a member of Brown County
Yep.
Historical Society.
So our memberships are annual memberships, so they are renewed annually. You can buy an individual membership for $40, a household for $60, and there's benefits as far as you get some advance notice of programs, you get our quarterly newsletter, you get 10% off in the museum store, so.
Good stuff. And so again, check that out. Information available. Website, just real quick, in case people need to look at something there.
www.browncountyhistorymn.org.
browncountyhistorymn.org.
Don't forget the MN.
Yeah, it's got to be on there. Okay, so I want to find out about a program coming up, March 28th. The title is She Did What?
She did what? Yes. Stories that you'll want to hear. So the last couple of years, we did a program 2 years ago called Do Tell. It kind of talked about some women of Brown County with doctor, midwife, so. And then last year was Tell Me More, and the focus was women in the media of Brown County. This year is going to be stories of intrigue, stories that you're going to want to hear. But she did what?
Uh-huh.
So you'll have, it's going to be very interesting, and we're really looking forward to it. We've been using the research library a lot, going into old newspaper clippings, and it's always fantastic, the things that you
Who's
find.
presenting this?
We are going to, again, probably have a cast,
Yeah.
and then we'll probably have a hostess. Rosa Penning-Schnobrick herself will not be hosting this year, but we will have a different character hosting.
So it's at Turner Hall.
Yep.
Evening event.
Evening event, it starts at 6. So it's
Okay.
we'll have dinner a little bit
Yeah.
prior to, and then the presentation will take place, and we'll learn about probably 5 or 6 women of Brown County intrigue.
March 28th, put it on your calendar. And again, look, there'll be tickets coming up, and you can get in for more information, of course, at the Brown County Historical Society. Tickets are all in advance or anything at the door?
Tickets are in advance. They're not available yet, so I'm actually you're the first people that I'm telling
Okay,
about
all
this,
right.
so you get the advance notice. But
Okay.
they should be available probably in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, now we're recording in late January, so as
Right.
you get into February, it should
Yeah.
be available.
Give us a call if you have any questions. 507-233-2616.
Yep, all right. What about book clubs?
Book club, we have a consistently running book group, and it meets the first Wednesday of the month in the annex. So what you can do is you can come to the coordinator of this program, who's a volunteer. They pull books and they have them available at the library. So you can actually come over to the library and check them out in advance, and that way you can get ready for what's to come. You can find the next book, March, I suppose. That would be available on our website, but the library also has posters as far as what our upcoming book group, or what is happening, so.
All right. And I wanted to find out a little bit more about volunteer opportunities also.
Volunteers. So right now, again, the book sale is coming up. So we have a volunteer coordinator and a co-coordinator who put all of this together, and it takes many, many, many volunteers to sift through these books and clear these books and pile all of these books in. So they start prepping for the book sale like 2 or 3 weeks in advance. So if you want to volunteer to help sort books and set up for the book sale, you're welcome to do that. Or if you want to work the book sale yourself, you are welcome to do that. So this book sale, again, one of our fundraisers, and it wouldn't be possible without volunteers. So we thank you. Another opportunity is the front desk. If you want to come see what's happening at the museum, you're welcome to come join us at the front desk and greet visitors and talk about what's happening, tell them about the museum, and that is also super appreciated. We have 5 or 6 staff members, and then otherwise it's volunteers.
Yeah.
So we greatly, greatly appreciate you. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the museum,
Flexibility
Come
on
on
hours,
flexibility,
whatever.
absolutely. Like the front desk, if you would, twice a month, if
Yeah,
you want
so
to.
I've got 8 hours I'd like to donate some time.
Okay, yeah.
Boom.
And then the nice thing about the book sale too is they kind of have it so it's like drop-in as well.
Yeah.
So, call and let us know if you'd be interested in volunteering for the book sale, and then you can kind of set up your schedule from there. But
Book sale again, April 19th and 20th.
yep. Or you can come sort books. And the nice thing about sorting the books and the volunteer perk is that you know what's there.
Okay, that's right.
Advanced notice.
Amy, anything else we need to cover that you had on your list?
Well, again, I just want to say thank you to the volunteers. We couldn't do this without you. And then also membership, going back to that, is, our members are massively supportive of the Brown County Historical Society, and we couldn't do that without the volunteers either. So we thank all of our members and our wonderful staff that we have, so.
It's they always say you need to have a passion for your work. It's pretty obvious you do.
Thank you. I do love my job.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up. Amy, thanks for being here again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Amy Johnson, Brown County Historical Society. She's the director over there. Stop in and check them out. So many good things. If you have company over or friends over
Yeah.
and you got a little time, show off our town and show off the history of our town. And it's a great way to do it. So great.
Well, thank you.
All right, Amy Johnson is with us. I'm Jim Bartles. Good to have you with us again. That's another edition of Something Artsy.